What's up, everybody? It's the Digital World Podcast. I got a good video for you today, and we're going to look at some things that are going to make you believe in what you own. So stay tuned. Here is Kristalina Georgieva, and Underzel posted this. He said, "Just so you know, I've seen Brad Garlinghouse make the exact argument. Capital sitting idle in Nostra accounts, trillions of capital that could instead, over time, be freed, quote unquote, used more efficiently. Markets becoming more liquid and efficient." Now listen to what she has to say about this.
More growth can we create? We can then create the momentum for the tremendous liquidity we have in the world that is sitting idle. And then have a new, hopefully, upswing. Some are talking about a way to stimulate inflation, Kuroda-san, by having that investment momentum that makes the liquidity moving a little bit faster. And I think we have to embrace that positive image. I am very concerned when I sit in meetings and everything is...
And that's basically it for that. But yeah, she's talking about making it more liquid and unlocking basically that value that's locked up in the Nostra accounts. It's from anywhere from 10 trillion to 27 trillion dollars that's locked up, that's dormant capital in those accounts. So, and if you use something efficient that can provide liquidity and free up all that capital, now you can invest it into something else instead of just having it locked up in accounts around the world. And it's the point that we've seen Brad Garlinghouse make several times. Now, with everything going on in the market, it's interesting because we're all distracted by, oh, there was a crash in the market, 50% retrace for some assets, others down 30%, others down 40%. In the meantime, we see Wells Fargo, and here Attorney Seal put this, that Wells Fargo becomes the latest banking giant to make an entry into the crypto market. And it seems like they're planning to add a crypto strategy for deep-pocketed clients this summer. Now, this is interesting, and they're slowly and very sneakily making their way in. We don't see about this in the news. It's not covered on mainstream media and telling you, oh, these banks are finally getting their toes wet in this space. No, it's because when it happens, this is why I always say, by the time people realize what's happening, it'll be too late. And I'm talking about the masses. It's gonna be too late, and they would have missed the train at that point, essentially. And that's why you're here early and you're in, and that's what's important. And if the dip in the market, if the crash in the market hasn't taught you anything, that we're still in a very, very speculative environment, then I don't know what will. And that's why I think it's important that we realize the why short-term profits for your short-term bags are important, because we're still in a speculative space. We haven't reached utility. And when utility enters, there's no TA, there's no way you'll be able to look at these charts, because it'll be a whole different beast. And those assets that have foundational value are going to be brought to the forefront. Those that don't will go to zero. If you don't believe me, you better believe Brian Brooks saying it, because he's telling you what is going to happen. Check it out.
I have a question for you. It's actually being posed by Elon Musk 3 minutes ago on a tweet. And it's, how much is that Doge? How much is that doggy in the window? And then I think it says Cyber Viking. So could you just give us a quick rundown on exactly what that means? I'm sorry. I don't know. But there's Dogecoin up. What's that, a nickel at this point? Up 15%, though. So this is something we're just going to have to live with. Every waking thought from Elon in terms of Bitcoin and energy usage and everything else. And now here's Doggy.
Well, look, I am excited to find the right moment to actually chat with Elon about his thesis of all of this, because he's one of the smartest guys in tech. But obviously his words are moving markets here, and so we need to be really careful about that. I've said before, Joe, that Dogecoin is interesting. I'm not going to question the value of it, because Cabbage Patch Kids had a lot of value and all kinds of collectibles have value. But I'm here because of the foundational financial technology being built, and I'm not sure that the Dogecoin blockchain is that. But clearly it's something a lot of people find value in, and I'm not going to question all of that. I come back to the question of 5 years from now, which of these networks are going to be replacing banks as a foundational way of transacting peer-to-peer, so that, Joe, I can send you money without Bank of America having to settle the trade. That's really what this is about. And Dogecoin is a whole different thesis.
Right. Well,
there you have it. He said, I'm looking at something from 5 years from now that can replace the banks and how they essentially move money around, is what he's saying. And if you want to hear it again, let's play it again.
Kinds of collectibles have value. But I'm here because of the foundational financial technology being built, and I'm not sure that the Dogecoin blockchain is that. But clearly it's something a lot of people find value in, and I'm not going to question all of that. I come back to the question of 5 years from now, which of these networks are going to be replacing banks as a foundational way of transacting peer-to-peer, so that, Joe, I can send you money without Bank of America having to settle the trade. That's
there you have it. And what digital assets help with that? Let me think of two. I think it starts with X. I think it's X. Yeah, X. XLM and XRP. There you have it. And there's many YouTubers that have been talking about it. And one day when people realize that they've missed a train and they had the information right in front of them all along, it's not going to be a pretty moment. That's why we're here to educate people, to let them know about this technology that's setting the foundation, as Brian Brooks speaks here on mainstream media. Now, there's an interesting article, and it's about the fourth turning. And it's interesting because it's talking about a clash that's going to happen. And we see that the theory proposes that America sees a turning every 2 years, 20 years as one generation displaces another. And this dynamic between the two creates a crisis every 80 years. And here it says that people stop tolerating weakening institutions and splintering culture, climax that shakes society to its roots, transforms institutions, and redirects purpose, and a resolution that sees the economy entirely restructured for a new set of circumstances. And when are instances in which we've seen this? And these individuals, Howe and Strauss, says that the last time we've seen this was World War II, the Civil War, and the American Revolution. And that's interesting because these were major historical events that happened in our nation's history. And there's great changes and also catalysts that led to these changes. Now, if we are obviously seeing a lot of stuff in society that's happening, we're seeing a new change in financial infrastructure that's happening. What do you think is going to happen when this clash ultimately happens, or where this, let's say, for lack of better words, revolution takes place? How is this world going to change? And we're seeing a lot of things happening, and there's no doubt in my mind that we're headed towards a very different world than we know of today. So you gotta stay tuned in for more. Keep an open ear, keep an open eye, and watch out. Watch out, because things are getting very interesting. Hope this episode has brought you some value. Like and subscribe. Comment below. What do you think about this clash between generations? And what do you think about this next turning that's going to happen? Leave your comments below, and I want to hear your thoughts. This is the Digital World Podcast, and I'll see you in the next episode.